find out. The Telegraph columnists were halfway through. Simon Heffer recently described you in writing as this shyster.
Yes.
Shyster is an appalling word. It comes from the German scheiss and means excrement. Are you going to sue the Telegraph for defamation?
That may happen.
Paul Staines in his online blog...
I have looked at that, and it is with a solicitor.
I'm with, aren't you? Paul Staines in his online blog, Guido Fox, alleges that you have made false ACA claims in your London home for more than £100,000, a very serious charge. Are you going to sue Mr. Staines?
It's all part of what's with the solicitor. I don't know if it'll be necessary to sue. I hope not.
It's still up.
But I think you had quite a lot to do with that, didn't you?
Since entering Parliament...
Jim, did you have anything to do with that one?
I'll let him see my website. Yeah, well, he saw my website. Somebody put mine to... It's on my website before I put it.
And now you know about the parking permit. What are you going to do about that?
I'm going to ask you some questions about it right now. Since entering Parliament, you have never claimed from Hammersmith and Fulham Council the second home council tax discount available on your house in Fulham. This decision has cost the public purse thousands of pounds, needlessly paid by us to that council. In a letter to the Commissioner for Standards, you write, I could not claim the second home discount because Hammersmith and Fulham Council will not issue residence parking permits for second homes. Mr. Wiggin, why should we pay thousands of pounds purely so that you can deceive a London council over what is and is not your second home?
Why do you use language like deceive?
Because it's clear from what you're saying to the Parliamentary Commission for Standards.
No, and I've explained it to you too.
Not satisfactorily.
I qualify because my children go to school and because I pay full council tax for my parking permit in London. I have to have one.
Why should we pay thousands of pounds so that you can do that?
Because I have to be able to park my car in London. I
and
go
so
to London.
Yes, because you live there all the time, isn't it? That's your main home.
It isn't.
Lots and lots of people
have
their main home in a constituency and a small flat in Kennington, and they use public transport and cabs.
Yep.
Why can't you?
A lot of MPs don't have their children going to school in London.
What, you have to take the children to school in a car?
Well, that's my choice, but I choose to do that because that I think is important for my family.
And why should we, the public, pay thousands of pounds so that you can do it?
I'm afraid that is...
Do you pay that money back?
That is what MPs do. We go to London to represent our constituents in Westminster, and there are costs associated with that. And I know that many people wish we did it for free, but we have costs and we have to...
If I calculate the shortfall since 2001 and it's several thousand pounds, that you could easily claimed as a second home discount from Hammersmith Council, will you pay it back?
Will you put that to the Commissioner?
No.
And he found that you were wrong, I find that you're wrong, and the answer is no. The money I have claimed is the money I have spent.
Last year you claimed from Parliament under your second home allowances for a residence parking permit in Fulham. If your Fulham home is your main home, you can't claim anything from Parliament. If it's your second home, you cannot claim a residence permit from Hammersmith Council. Those are their rules. So in what way was your expense claim for this permit legitimate?
Well, I have tried to explain it to you, but let me try again. The qualification for Hammersmith and Fulham to issue a permit is that you should pay full council tax, which you know I do, and your children should go to school in London, which mine do. That's what you have to do to qualify. That's what they determine is a main home.
So
that is not the same. Home. That is not the same as the parliamentary main home, which is a home I choose to make my main home.
Clarify that. For Parliament, you've told it's your second home, but you've told the council it's your main home.
There's one other thing you need to know. No, what I've said is I qualify for a main home in Fulham for the council.
Is it
That's
your main
not
home?
the same as having my main home in Herefordshire.
Is your house in London
it's
your
not
main
the same
home?
thing.
Is
my house in
home?
Herefordshire is my main home, Jim. It always has been.
Well, why don't you tell Hammersmith Council that?
I have told Hammersmith Council, and they say the criteria for their parking permit is you should be paying full council tax.
Yes, because it's your
and
main
educate
home.
your children in Hammersmith and Fulham.
And it's your main home.
Well, that's
have you
what
told them
they
it's your main
call...
home again this week?
No.
When's the last time you told them it was your main home?
I'm not even sure I've ever told them it's my main home, and I'll explain why. When you apply for a parking permit, you apply the first time, you fill out all the forms, which I will have done in the 90s, and after that it rolls forward.
Unless you
and
tell
you
the
don't
truth that it's
fill
become your
out the
second
form
home.
again and again. No,
Why have you never told
isn't.
them that it changed to become your second home?
I have had contact with them many times, and they know I have two homes, and they know that I qualify for the parking permit because I pay full council tax and my children go to school in London. And that's the criteria they need. And when I saw what you'd written, I rang them up and said, why is your website misleading Mr. Miller like this? And they said, because we don't want people who claim a second home discount to have a parking permit.
Was the claim you made in 2008 for a first permit in your wife's name alone, or also for a second permit for you?
Sorry.
The claim that you made to Parliament, which I've seen, it's
permit,
on your wife's the name of the permit's your
the car
wife.
I drive to Westminster, so wholly, necessarily and exclusively, the one I drive to work is a car that's actually registered in my wife's name. So that's why I claimed.
Do you
that
share a car with your wife? You've only got one car between you?
We've got two cars, but
so
I think
got two permits then?
Yes, we've got two permits.
So you have claimed a second permit. Whose name's that in?
There's one in each of our names.
Yes, thank you. Do you regret involving
Jim,
your wife in this?
You seem to think that this is exciting. It isn't.
Do you regret involving your wife in this by falsely claiming for that parking permit?
I haven't falsely claimed for a parking permit, and I think you're straying off your concerns now.
So you have held residence parking permits in your name for Fulham Council?
Yes.
Finally, do you and your wife share the same main home?
I'm not sure that's got anything to do with you.
Do you find that difficult? Do you live with your wife?
Yes.
And do you share the same main home?
We live in Herefordshire and we also live in London. And our main home is in Herefordshire and our second home is in London.
So your wife is claiming on a second home.
I think you're obsessing on
Council
the
as well.
Hammersmith and Fulham rules here. I think you're obsessing on it, and I think if you check with Hammersmith and Fulham Council, and I rather hope they're going to write you a letter explaining, you will find that I do qualify for a parking permit, even though my main home is in Herefordshire.
And you refuse to pay back the money that you should have claimed back from Hammersmith and Fulham Council on your second home, which you've claimed from
But that's only your decision. No one else thinks that I've done that.
No, an honest person would not claim money from you, but you have. You said that
Jim,
you've
claimed
claimed
that
full
money.
council tax on your second home.
I
said that.
I paid that money to Hammersmith and Fulham Council.
No, we
if
paid
I
it.
live here...
We've paid it, you haven't paid it.
If I lived here all the time and I wasn't an MP, I wouldn't have to live in London. That is a necessary cost of being an MP.
So you're not
just
going to
like
pay
the
that money
travel,
back?
just like everything else I have to do, that is part of the job. And it may irk you, but that's the reality.
Are you refusing to resign?
Of course, Jim. Now, are there any other things I can talk to you about?
I'm talking to somebody else, so not.
You can get... Can I just chill for a second? Can I just say one or two things to you, which is that you asked me for this, you've used quite a lot of inflammatory language, and I think we've got over that. But if you've got questions, come back. I don't understand, and perhaps you can help me. Why do you feel it necessary to have this campaign against me?
One, because I believe you're dishonest, and I believe that you're bringing our Prime Minister and government into disrepute. And secondly, as I say, the day after the police were sent around my house, and you can thank whoever sent them around my house, I went to the Hereford Journal and said, OK, Bill Wiggin, and Colin Osborne said, have a look at his expenses claims, see what you can find. That's what that all comes from.
So Colin asked you to do this, did he?
No, he said to me, I don't know what these mean. You're an Oxford boy, you have a look.
Because he said something quite different about you.
So that you asked the reason why, and I've told you in a letter that I'll stop as soon as you resign.
But I'm not going to resign. Well, that's up to the people who elect me. And you played your part in the democratic... No. If they want me to go, then they have an opportunity to vote me out, and they did have an opportunity less than 6 months ago.
Yeah, we had the newspapers. If you told the newspapers that you were cleared, and then so that you, like the Woollites, in my view, were elected on a falsehood. I don't know why the Liberals would take an election petition out against you.
Jim, I think you've got it wrong on this cleared bit. I've been cleared by the police, by the Crown Prosecution Service, by the Conservative Party.
By Parliament.
Well, I think of all the people, you who've read it so carefully should, I think, be a bit more careful. Because you've seen what they said in that report.
Well, they basically say they don't believe you. You said,
well, that's fair enough. And they've said the balance of probability is this, and I've accepted that.
And
they've asked me to do things
by claiming that you have spent more than you claimed for.
Well,
Why didn't they believe you?
The judgment is there in black and white. We don't have to haggle over that. It's written. And they asked me to do two things. They asked me to apologise, which I've done.
Two apologies.
And I've done them. And they asked me to pay the money back, and I've done that too.
I've seen the apology. It was incredibly sour.
Well, it's exactly what they asked for.
A sour apology?
No, the wording was what it said, and I think it would be quite wrong and disrespectful to have deviated from the wording that they asked for. That's what you do. And the right thing, if you don't like the decision, bad luck. I have obeyed it, and I have paid the money back. And I've done it, and I've no doubt you will check on that. Now, whether it's sour or not, that's your description. I've just done what they've asked. And if you want to come back here and ask me more questions, you are welcome to do so.
Satisfied enough with the answers there that I should go to
but
the
I would
place and the Parliamentary Commissioner.
Well, you will. Whatever you say, you're going to carry on in your vendetta. But I would ask you not to. If you've got issues, come and talk to me. If you want to talk about things, I'll try and give you answers.
Unsatisfactory.
Well, I'm not sure your questions were that helpful either, but, you know, the offer is still open. Okay? Have you got everything you need?
Thank you for your time.
Not at all.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I didn't catch your name again.
Very, very harsh one.
Are you a lawyer?
Yes.
Lord Muffins.